without spending much time, I think the topic given to me is on drone remote sensing for soil and crop monitoring. So let me share some of our experiences, initiatives, what we have taken in IRI with you. And any question you can raise beyond drone, anything related to hyperspectral, remote sensing, or anything you have any doubt. So I'll be happy to answer some of those. So let me put my video off and I can go for so that it will have a clarity. And you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine. Let me minimize this window. Yeah. So, I think I don't need to give much about the introductions, you know, and why at all we need to use all these technologies. I think behind the motive is how to enhance the productivity, and to do that, there are technologies how to use them, particularly for plant phenomics, like designing a plant type for increasing the potential of yield. That is one approach where we try to do. Being in agriculture domain, researchers, we have been doing a lot of research related to the plant science, like breeding, genetic modifications, and all those things. But recent development is phenomics, how we can characterize a plant from outside and retrieve all those possible parameters using different sensors and design a smart crop. The smart crop is because we design the crop so that with the less fertilizer, maximum yield, with the less pesticide, better yield, less fungicide, resilient to the climate change, so and so. So that's the reason why we call smart crop. And again, why I'm talking phenomics here. This is the technology which we are going to use in the drone, and globally people have been using for high throughput field phenotyping in field conditions. So in the subsequent slides, I'm going to talk that more in detail. Coming back to the second part is how to enhance the use efficiency of the nutrient like nitrogen or water, so that or any input you give, so that you can optimize the yield with the sustained production system with the safe environment. That's what the precision farming. Again, to do that, you need to capture that kind of variability, and that variability can be captured with the remote sensing, again from the ground, airborne, and satellite. And drone remote sensing plays a very potential tool to capture those variabilities as and when required using different kind of sensors. So this is the possibility of having that. That's the reason why I'm showing that. So coming back to the addressing those variabilities to capture, so you can capture from the lab conditions, collecting the soil samples, put on the petri dish or on the sampling plate, and collect the data using the sensors. That's what you can see on the left hand side. And same sensor you can take to the field and capture the data. Then you can put over a cherry picker, or you can put over a drone. Then you can put on a manned aerial vehicle which can fly something around 3 to 8 kilometer height or 10 kilometer height. Finally, of course, on the satellite, and that's what the satellite is. So this is what the scale of operations, starting from a single pixel to the UAV, to the manned aerial vehicle, to the satellite. So, so all kind of possible sensors are available. And fortunately, in IRI, we over the years we built up all this facility, starting from the ground lab conditions to the satellite level. All kind of sensors we have. I think I'll take you through those things to make you understand potential of this technology, how it is. Though I'll be confined more into drone remote sensing. And coming back to the sensor technologies, with the time, the sensor technology has been really advances with respect to four aspects. That is, the spectral resolutions. Like you had a panchromatic camera, now it is a hyperspectral camera. What we have, and we'll come back that again. And the spatial scale from kilometer to centimeter, even if sub-centimeter, using drones or high-resolution satellite data, and 24 days to 30 minutes level, and also radiometrically it's wonderful now, 7 to 16 bit. I think all the basics remote sensing might have been covered, all these resolutions, how it matters, and what is the importance with respect to the studies, particularly with respect to agriculture, when you look at the leaf level, canopy level, or regional level. And time is most important, temporal variability to capture. So that's the reason temporal visit is most important. So there are a lot of sorry, potential implications of these technologies with respect to agri applications. So, if you look at the drone remote sensing, it's a CAD scanner for crop health monitoring and precision agriculture. Why it called CAD scanner? Because you have different sensors on the drone. You can put in and put out and capture the data as you like. You can see this is a indicative photograph saying how you have put on sensor over the drone flying over a wheat field in the IRA campus, which has been treated with the different water and nitrogen treatments, and you are able to capture the data. When you analyze, you see the each frame right hand side is the image which is got captured, and you are able to see how to pull them together and do kind of a corrections and stitching them together. You get a wonderful image. That color indicative is the variations what you have with respect to nitrogen, the variations with respect to the water, variations with respect to the plant type, how it responds to those inputs what you are given. So that's what the interesting thing you are going to capture. And most importantly, is the kind of resolutions you want with respect to the sensor, with respect to the spatial, with respect to time. Everything is possible as you want. So that's what the potential of the drone technology is. So I think there is a animation here. I think I should go with that right now. So let me. Uh, I don't know whether it's. I think I should forget right now that I have not. Uh, we'll come back that later again. So, so coming back to the remote sensing, I think many lectures might have been covered. Just I wanted to say, being from IRI, fortunate to be part of the IRI, which has witnessed the birth of remote sensing technology in agriculture. Till date, we have been working on the different platforms. And why I'm showing is the airborne remote sensing. You look at 1969, first airborne remote sensing happened, even if satellite was not there. And that is somewhere in the coconut wilt disease in Kerala, where you can see the ectochrome color film, what you could see in the coconut plantations. And this is what the building, and it was done in collaboration with NASA and ISRO in 1969. That's the first paper which came out. You can Google and see it. And again, recently, we did within 2018 and 2019, we had a wonderful joining. Again, we had a manned aerial vehicle where we have put this sensor. This is a average NG sensor called uh, from the NASA, which is a hyperspectral sensor, and flown a different part of the country, including this site also. And here again, we have gone with the drone. You can see with me, the small drone is there. Of course, we have a bigger drones where we integrated similar sensors, hyperspectral sensor, and capture the data of the same field where we were there in 1969. I think that was a I 1 year before I born. So you can see the kind of the joining we have taken place over the with respect to the technologies. You see at 1969 you had a black and white sensors, borrowed camera, borrowed air platform, and now you have everything. You have a very highly capable hyperspectral sensors. You have drone, and again you have a wonderful data analytics. So this is what the interesting thing what joining we have been gone through. And I just wanted to say this is the guy who is called Dr. NG Pillai, who was a plant pathologist, who was in that campaign in 1969 when he was a scientist in that center, and he has flown over there to say where that coconut wilt has happened, root wilt has happened, and he could witness our science. We are here, and we have flown over those regions, and he was so happy to see excited to see how the technology has gone over the time. My purpose of saying over here is the technological advancement has been done over the sensors platforms and also the analytics. So can you see the remote? I think this part is not necessary to cover. I think you people have already covered the basics of remote sensing. You know, so there are different sensors in the optical range, thermal range, and micro range, which is available on the ground and also on the satellite, and also the airborne platforms. I'll come back that again. And with respect to the spectral channels, so you have a panchromatic, multispectral, and hyperspectral data sets. So this is what the capability over the years what you have, and I think you might have been told by the speakers. Uh, why at all we should look for hyperspectral. For example, you look at the multispectral and versus hyperspectral. This is what the multispectral measurement, this is what the hyperspectral measurements. The basic difference between these two is you can see visibly there are few discrete bands what you have and very few parameters you can capture here. But whereas when you take a hyperspectral, you have a continuous spectrum capture, and you can look at each spectrum, each part of the wavelength corresponds to something on the ground uh, parameter. For example, illustrated over down here, few of them, and there is a interaction with respect to the wavelength, the radiations you received, and the kind of physics behind is written over here. Kind the spectrometry happens is here, spectroscopy, and this is what the kind of parameter you can look at. So what you have been doing with the multispectral, when you come back to the hyperspectral, it amplifies 100 times the kind of information you are going to retrieve, and kind of reach with the information and kind of characterizations what you can do. So that's what the reason of hyperspectral. And so coming back to the platform, like you have many instruments which are a ground platform. There are many instruments which are an airborne platform, like drone and also manned aerial vehicle, and also on the satellite. So see, some of those sensors which can go on the drone are these. So as I was saying, so you have I think there is, I think the university must be having some drone to see if at all possible. And so there are drones like in your wedding ceremonies, you see with the different RGB cameras, they are flown with the uh, capturing the data what you have in the event. And you have a thermal sensors, we have multispectral sensors, that is with red edge. There is another advantage of having that sensor. Red edge is something, a band which is between the NIR, red to NIR, which captures the stress wonderfully, particularly with respect to nitrogen stress, pest and disease. And so these are the different multispectral sensors which is available in the market, three of them. And also there are hyperspectral sensors, as I was saying you. There will be more number of channels instead of having five bands. This sensor, what we have here, is something around 272 channels. What you can get means bands you can get. So what is not possible using the multispectral, you will be able to get in this hyperspectral. Of course, the lidar, which use the laser technology, and you can capture the data for the morphometric analysis, and do a lot of other parameters which is otherwise is not possible by other cameras. Then very recently we have also microwave radiometer, which you can get it. Again, microwave, microwave remote sensing has its own advantages over multispectral thermal remote sensing. It is a weather independent, and you can capture the lot of information, particularly reliable information for the soil moisture, and also some of those soil the plant parameters. So you can see this is how the data is captured, and this is how the mission planning is done. Then you can analyze and come back with the product. And so this is what the drone with the drone with the hyperspectral sensor flying over agriculture extended field what we have in IRI, and capturing the data.
सब फोड़ देगा क्या?
So, so this is what, and this is what in 2016, first in-house built drone we could throw our again extend the field to showcase to honorable Prime Minister, and this costed us something around 30 to 40,000 that time only. So this is what the data is. So let me stop. So why at all we need to look for the drone, and though we have the technology on the ground, we have the satellite. These are some of those answers what we have is mostly real-time data availability. You just go to the field and capture the data and come back and do the analysis and get it done. So you don't need to look for the satellite data captured, come to the center and get shared. Then in long run, it is a low data cost. If you have purchase the drones with the different sensors, it of course the cost varies. When you go from the RGB data to thermal to multispectral, the cost will keep on increasing. But once one time investment, once you have done, that kind of data you receive is going to be wonderful, and it will is really cost effective. So this is what another is high spatial resolutions. Like the satellite is in some 1,000 kilometer away, whereas here you can fly something minimum height, something around 15 meter to something 120 meter you can fly. So you can get different kind of resolutions as you like to. So you can go to centimeter level resolutions, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, something like that. That's what the capability. Again, coming back to the spectral data, you can play with the multispectral, you can play with the thermal, you can play with the hyperspectral as you like. So here, nothing is fixed. You get down the drone, put the sensor, thermal sensor you want to fly right now, you can put in and go and take the fly, then bring it down and put the multispectral, go for flying, then bring down the hyperspectral, fly. So as you like. So that's what the wonderful thing what drone is, as very subjective with respect to the user requirement, subjective with respect to the time at which you want to fly. Whereas in case of satellite, always everything is fixed. Once satellite is launched, once the data is captured, things are out of your control. Only the data pass you if you are there in the field. If it is a clear sky, you can get the data. Otherwise, it's not possible. So that's what the limitations what you have in the satellite. And of course, uh, you want thermal, but that satellite doesn't have, then you have to go for a sensor or the satellite where you have a some thermal sensor. And again, resolution is fixed, data path is fixed, most of the technology is fixed. So as you require, you can look for that kind of satellite which is meets your requirement. And but once that date is passed, you are gone. So that's what the limitation of the satellite, but same time advantage is synoptic view. You have a larger area to view it. You can get a district or a state or even a whole country captured by the satellite. Whereas in case of drone, you can do in a field scale, small field area requirement, but you can't do in the rather what I can say is block level or district level or the state level. It will take a huge time to do that. You need a couple of drones and flying at different time, and because drone is for only few minutes, a few time for to fly and capture the data. So both are complementing to each other. So that's what I mean to say. So in the ground, what you do is a single pixel. Just a minute. I put But whereas in case of a drone, you can go beyond the ground and look at a spatial scale and capture the data, capture the anomalies, what you have, anything. But when you look at the satellite, that is a regional scale. So they complement, drone complements to the satellite to the ground remote sensing. That's what I mean to say, tell over here. So these are some of those sensors what we have, and these are some of those birds or drones what we have till now. Uh, and you can see we developed also the manuals of drone remote sensing protocols, how to buy a drone, how to buy a sensor, how to integrate, how to fly. All the it's the ABC of drone remote sensing is documented over there. And also we developed our own pipeline methodology to analyze hyperspectral data. If at all you fly or on the ground you can capture that and do that kind of analysis. And also we have a drone agri software which captures the whatever the drone data you capture, you can get all analysis done. So you don't need to bother much about the what indices I should go for, what all those things. Based on the sensors, everything is user friendly, and you can capture the data and go for the product generations like chlorophyll, nitrogen, water, whatever you want. So that's what the capability. And this is the lab what we have, and where you have different sensors with the different drones in-house drone. This is my pilot who is standing over there. And also we have a drones which can spray based on the variability you capture with respect to the stresses, the kind of stress. And the last one image is the data analytics lab, where we have a high-end computing systems where we have established that, so that you can get all these huge data analysis using AI techniques. So this is what the capability what we have, and this is what in-house drone what we have with us, which we spent something around 1 lakh to 80,000, and purpose is to build up in-house capability to 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 make in India drone and also capture the data. If something goes wrong with the drone which you purchase, and you can see how the data is captured and the drone is flying, and this is as good as any commercial drone what you get in the market. And that's what we could do with the students. They did that, and you are able to see that. And this is a telemetry what you are able to see. Either you can see there, or even the lab conditions you can see that. So that's what the capability what we have made it with. So coming back to the drone technology for the smart agriculture. So actually, drone sensing and drone as an input application, there are two potential part of the drone technology in agriculture. The first part is, that's what the today's topic is, how we can map and discriminate the crops, how we can go for the condition monitoring, yield forecasting, or damage assessment with respect to different pests and diseases, and also monitoring the crop stresses. Maybe it is a pest and disease, maybe it is water, nutrient, or heat, or whatever. So how we can do, that's what the drone remote sensing can do. Again, drone can be used as air robotics, which can be used for variable rate applications of pesticides, herbicides, or liquid fertilizer. And also, drone can be used for the seeding, bombing the seeds in the afforestation where you want to do, or the area which is remote and can send the drone and get it done. And also, drone can be used to go to a remote area, capture the data. So that's what the capability what we have with respect to drone technologies. So I think I should skip this slide because time is not there. So coming back to the kind of facilities what we have a wonderful facility called Deshmukh Plant Phenomics Center, and which has this kind of sensors uh, integrated in an imaging platform. These are the imaging platform down here, and these are climate smart greenhouses where the plants are grown, and we try to capture the data, and the plant keeps on moving inside, and data is captured, and you do all those kind of analysis using data analytics. So this is again characterizing plant conditions, plant traits as you like to, like a pest and disease, or nutrient, or water, whatever you have. So that's what you can do in the controlled conditions. This is a wonderful facility we established. Again, we have a mobile platform where you have grown in the field, and you have frame which under which the sensor can move around and capture the data. And you have a drone where the sensor, uh, the drone can take all these sensors and fly and capture the data. And also we have a mobile platform where you can integrate similar sensors, and it's a kind of a mobile robotics which can go to the field and capture the data automatically as per the sensors requirement. So that's what the wonderful technology what we have. We're starting from the ground to the airborne, how quickly high throughput plant phenotyping you can do, or plant characterization you can do using all these kind of sensors. So this is what we have. I think let me show you the small movie clip which can.
फसलों की उत्पादकता के लिए एक ज्वलंत समस्या है। भारतीय खाद्य सुरक्षा को बनाए रखने के लिए जलवायु अनुकूल फसल किस्में विकसित करना आवश्यक है। इस लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति के लिए भारतीय कृषि अनुसंधान संस्थान ने एक अत्याधुनिक एवं स्वचालित प्लांट फिनोमिक्स केंद्र की स्थापना की है। फिनोमिक्स एक आधुनिक बहुविषयक विज्ञान है जिसमें लगभग वास्तविक समय में पौधों को बिना क्षति पहुंचाए सेंसर्स एवं कंप्यूटर की सहायता से लक्षण के लिए उपयोगी श्रेष्ठ जीन प्रारूपों एवं जीनों की पहचान करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। पद्म विभूषण से सम्मानित स्वर्गीय श्री चंद्रिका दास अमृतराव देशमुख, जो एक महान सामाजिक कार्यकर्ता रहे हैं, उनके सम्मान में आज इस केंद्र को भारत के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के द्वारा नानाजी देशमुख प्लांट फिनोमिक्स केंद्र के नाम से राष्ट्र को समर्पित किया जा रहा है।
So this is what the brief about that how climate smart greenhouse with also with the smart techniques using AI. You can go for the automation of the image capturing and doing all those things. And this is what the fast experience what we have in 2016. The journey we started with respect to drone remote sensing in IARI, and we have a fixed wing drones, and we have a collaborative program with the Delhi Technological University. They are the students who have been doing that to avoid that, because we don't have much time to show those of animations how the drone flies. Just you put on the hand and fly it, it will capture the data. And from that drone data, we have a low-cost sensors. From there, you are able to retrieve leaf area index and also the stress conditions. And these are some of those empirical models. There are publications already available on my ResearchGate. You can see them all. Each presentations what I'm going to do, they're all available on the ResearchGate itself. So, and this is what the field data when you capture, and you can see the IARI field in the Google, and this is what the dot is, each frame what you capture, the kind of data which is captured, and try to integrate them and come out with the image. And this is the sensor which was capture the data. And once the after pre-processing that whole data, this is what the external field, this is a field which we look for. And there are many other external fields. This is a observatory in the field conditions. We have sensors, we have weather stations, and so we try to capture the data and integrate in the Google Earth to see how wonderfully that data is showing. So that's what the capability. And you can see this is what the field I was looking for, and this is the data which is captured with the differential treatment of drought and irrigations, and nitrogen 0 and nitrogen 120, and each field has a 7 genotypes. So you will be able to see wonderfully. You can see this is what the field layout, and this is what the drone agri software has come out with the analysis saying how different field treatment has been visualized, and the response has been captured using the multispectral sensor what we have, and try to derive an index called normalized difference radius index, which can be classified using density slicing, and you are able to see the color changes, and that color is indicative to show how the genotypic response is, how the treatment response is captured, and you are able to capture that variability not only from field to field, also within the field from genotype to genotype. So this is what the wonderful, and that too, it again invasive, non-invasive, and rapid and reliable. So this is what the capability of what you can develop with. This is what I told you already about that. And again, same thing, like 29 genotypes were grown with the differential treatment, and you can rank them at the, you can see the response with respect to different days after sowing, at 80 days, at 160 days, and 120 days, how they're responding. And again, you can do them ranking which genotype or which field is really doing good or which is really non-performing. So that's what you can see. You can do the ranking again using the same software as I said, Drone Agri. So this is all pipeline we try to develop for that purpose. And these are some of the empirical models I'm going to talk about, is how you can thrive with respect to different attributes or traits you are looking for the crop conditions. For example, chlorophyll content, which has a wonderful relations with respect to the composite vegetation index, and you can see the empirical changes models how it is done. Then coming back to the rice field with the different cell treatment with respect to drought control and nitrogen, you can see the biomass predictions which has been done again using simply RGB camera and the prediction. This is what the biomass is predicted. What I mean to say is, without harvesting, without taking and doing the gravimetric weight and all those things, you are able to predict which genotype or which field is giving wonderful predictions or yield. So this is what the capability what you have. Again, coming back to using the multispectral sensors, you are able to capture the canopy temperature, and that variation is captured, you can see on the left hand side, and that tells you, suppose you are looking for, like my plant scientists who are breeders, they are looking for how it responds with respect to the drought treatment, the temp. So the differential response of temperature we are getting, canopy temperature is will be different provided there is a differential response of the genotype to uptake the water, or if there is a water treatment given. So the canopy temperature will maybe go beyond the air temperature. If at all the plant is dry or there is not sufficient water, then the cooling effect won't be there. No evaporation, no transpirations. So the plant will